right, guys, we are back for another podcast episode with Mr. Nick. And today, we're going to shift focus. We're actually going to talk a lot more about what Nick is doing professionally now, what makes these guys super different with their approach. I've got some cool questions to ask you. But anyway, welcome back, guys, to Life by the Horns. So let's go ahead and get rolling. So you've been a part of Rise for how long now?
I've been directly a part of Rise for roughly 18 months, but I've been around Rise since 2017.
Okay. So definitely some exposure to it.
Yeah.
What makes you guys so different?
Our approach when it comes to coaching is very, very customer centric or client centric versus business centric.
Okay.
Right. So the way that we built the business was built based on education and fulfillment, not marketing and getting traffic. Right. So the foundational piece that we wanted to do is make sure that we would always be transparent with our clients and that we would always move with the highest level of integrity. Right. And that was really the foundation of the company. It's like, okay, we will teach, we will educate. There will be no misinformation. We will never withhold information. And regardless of what is best for the business, we will do what is best for the client in every single situation. So you take that foundation, and then the way we hired was based on how you view people, not how skilled you were. Right. So the foundation of being hired at Rise was, do you have a strong love for people? Will you always do what is right for people? And if that is the case, we will teach you to do the thing that we want you to do from a fulfillment standpoint. So with Rise, having the foundational love for people, and then also having a very robust training and educational system on whole health, not necessarily clinician, but whole health, which includes your spiritual health, your mental health, mindset coaching, and the physical nutrition coaching, really separates us from the fitness influencers you see and some of the other things that you have going on out there.
Okay. So if I could summarize that, Rise Athletic Performance is not, for what people may assume, it's not just for bodybuilders. It's more of a holistic approach towards all things health and wellness for, someone who's got diabetes to a high-level executive that just wants to live the best version of their life to a bodybuilder to a mom with menopause, correct?
Correct. Okay. Yeah. So what we wanted to do is help the greatest number of people that we possibly could, because the leadership group at Rise, like all of us, we view leadership the same, which is your job as a leader, if you claim to be one, is to add value to the lives of every single person that you meet, not just the people you like or not just the people that you have contact with, right? So every person. So, and I'm sure, you run a business, it's from the janitor to the CEO and everything in between. So what we wanted to be able to do was, we wanted to be able to do the bodybuilding thing because that's our roots. That's what we love to do. But hey, here's a mom that's had 2 kids, hormone imbalances all over the place. She does not feel good. She doesn't have any self-esteem. She's dieting. She's doing all the working out. We wanted to be able to take her and say, hey, let us educate you. Go get this blood work done. Let us show you these things. Let us use our expertise to not only get you in great shape, but to help you feel good and live a high quality of life and get a little bit of faith back in yourself. Same thing with the busy CEO. Hey, I've only got 40 minutes a day to train 3 days a week. How can I possibly get in the best shape of my life? Okay, we're going to educate you on how we optimize things, how we structure and schedule your day, how we habit stack to make sure that things are lined up and prepared for what you're supposed to do. Or a young athlete who just needs to put on weight and do something sports specific. So literally anything across any gamut that deals with physical fitness, nutrition, or just general wellness, we have education and expertise in those fields.
Okay. So you mentioned blood work. So is it fair to say that you guys actually take this down to a cellular level and prescribe stuff that is custom for the person?
Yeah. So we won't say prescribe.
Okay.
No, but on that line, we will develop a plan of care, right?
Okay.
Because we are not doctors. We don't do the clinician side of it. But yes, we go through a couple of different steps. The first step, like when we talk about looking at health markers, we want a broad overview, right? So the first thing we're going to do is send you out an MSQ, which is just a medical symptom questionnaire. You go through it, fill out all the symptoms, and it's going to help us look at clusters, right? And the clusters will tell us what is off. So you've got a certain cluster of symptoms that'll lead us to say, okay, that's hormone imbalance. That's poor gut health. That's adrenal insufficiency. That's a high histamine response. Once we get the broad overview of what is wrong, we know what complex problem we're trying to solve. We don't treat symptoms. So we look at the underlying issue and say, okay, here's some more information we need. If it's a hormone imbalance, we need labs, right? So we would have the labs come in, then we would interpret. While we interpret, we teach. It's like, okay, this is the range. This is what is optimal. This is where you are. This is how we fix it. And I stress the word educate because the goal of the program is not repeat business. The goal of the program is to teach you how to live a good life so that you can leave and you don't have to hire us or anybody else ever again. So that is another huge thing that's different between us and everybody else. We love you. We would love you to hang around, but you'll never need us. Once we have that understanding, then we'll send you some more documentation. Okay, maybe you have a gut health issue. Here is our 9-page digestive health questionnaire. Go through this. Let's find out exactly what is going on. And then we have a functional nutrition practitioner on our team that'll go through and put together a plan of care.
Okay. And you guys have a, professional, like doctoral side of the team, right? Like dietitians and other things to help with people that do have ailments that aren't normal.
Yeah. So we have a functional nutrition practitioner, and then we literally have every certification known to man between the 39 coaches, 4 nurses, and anything that we don't have directly from a W-2 or 1099 at Rise, we have a robust network that allows us to do other things. So I don't employ any doctors, but I have partnerships with 5 different hormone clinics where we collaborate with doctors to make sure that if something does need to be prescribed, they can prescribe it. But we work with people who have the same set of values as us. Yeah. And that is, do not treat symptoms. Do not just randomly prescribe. Solve the problem. Whatever needs to go into solving the problem, we are good with that. So yeah.
No, I love that. I think that, and I hate to poo-poo on anybody, but in modern or Western medicine, it's so much symptom reduction.
Yeah.
We come in and we feel away and it's take this thing. And if you don't feel better, come back in 10 days. I think that's also a huge problem in all things like fitness and just this whole, realm or niche in general. It's not getting to the core of something. And so I think that's something that hugely sets you guys apart. So, but regardless of where you are in your fitness journey, mm-hmm. anybody and everybody could find success working for you, with you guys.
Literally. Wherever you want to go, wherever you're at currently, we meet the customer where they're at, right? Yeah. Because, and I don't even like using the word customer. I meet the person where they are.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what is your why? What is happening? And we really dig into that on the consultation too, because let's be real. The first time you talk to anybody, it's, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to tighten and tone up. Cool. All right. Like everybody wants to do that thing.
Right.
But if you understand from a case by case basis, what the driving and determining factors are behind that, it helps you treat the person. Right. So if a mom comes to me and says, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go through the 5 why process, right? Why? Oh, well, I want to be healthier. Why? Well, I haven't felt the same since I had my 2 kids. Okay. Well, what's changed? Like, why don't you feel the same? Well, I don't have any energy. I don't have this. Whatever it may be. Okay. So why now are we doing this? And it typically comes down to lack of self-esteem. Something may be changed in their marriage, or for men, they have a daughter now and they want to stay alive long enough to walk them down the aisle. But you got to dig into those things, because once you find out what the why is and what's actually ailing somebody, you can build a relationship with them. And the relationship is where the trust comes in, because the science behind it, and the expertise behind it, everybody can learn. But you can't learn necessarily to love people and actually genuinely want to help them. And that's where we're at. It's like, we have the skill set to do the math and the science and all the other things. But what we really want to do is help the person.
Yeah. Yeah. So from a practical standpoint, let's go on the journey. So somebody reaches out to you guys, they want to have a conversation. You guys have a conversation. You realize it's a good fit. You can help get them there. they fill out this MSQ or, this medical questionnaire to give you a good indicator of, where they're at. And then from there, like now what happens? What are the next steps that somebody sees working with you guys?
So the first step before we even do the MSQ would be just getting on a consultation call. And the consultation call itself, it's literally a very non-pressured general conversation about like, okay, who are you as a person? Here's the history of the company. Here's what we've done. Here's what we're good at. Here's the system that we use. What are we trying to solve? Here's how the system solves that thing, to find out if we can help each other.
Right.
Once we establish that, then the MSQ, the digestive questionnaire, and some of the more intricate things come out to look at the health markers. Once we get that all set in place, we have an online platform that focuses on solving 5 key indicators and making sure that they're in place. All right. So the first one we kind of already talked about. That's literally just management of health markers, making sure the body's in homeostasis. Do you have adrenal sufficiency? Are your hormones balanced? Do you have solid gut health? All of those things. The second key to being successful in today's society, because there's so much pressure and everything's faster, is making sure that we set up a proper structure and schedule based on the person that we're working with. Not everybody has 2 hours a day to work out.
Right.
Some people only have 30 minutes 3 times a week, whatever. So we analyze the person's schedule, and then we make sure that we schedule in the things that are going to be beneficial for that person as a human and quality of life, because most people will choose to pour into something other than themselves. So we make sure we put checks and balances in place that it's scheduled, right? The third key indicator for success is making sure we manage all inputs, right? So inputs are broken down into 2 different categories. The first one is like more of the easy one. It's like, okay, anything that comes into the body exogenously, it's your water, your food, any type of vitamins or supplementation, whatever we need from that aspect. The other side, again, goes to treating the person. Where are you at from a spiritual health standpoint? Where are you at from a personal development standpoint? How is your mental health? How do you mitigate stress? Like, what are we doing to live a high quality of life? These are conversations you have as a coach, right? Because you want to pour into people and just make them better. So we have those conversations. And then let's say, I'm working with you, Dustin. You say, hey, Nick, I really, for self-development, I want to read this book. I haven't found time to do it. I will make your time. I'll schedule it on your calendar because it's going to be good for self-development. Yep. Maybe you don't go to church enough, in your own opinion. Schedule it, whatever it may be. The next thing is making sure that people have the proper amount of activity. Okay, because a lot of people overdo it based on their nutrition. A lot of people underdo it based on their nutrition. There is a very fine balance of what is necessary based on nutrition versus what is overkill or not enough.
Yeah.
So we analyze the person's schedule, their hormone profile, their age, their goals, their body composition, their level of fitness, all these things. And we literally program based on those, right? And the last thing is just being a huge support group, right? Everybody works better with an accountability partner or people that believe in them, right? And it's not normally both at the same time. Some people need more of the, hey, I'm going to make sure you do the things you promised that you were going to do for you or your family or whatever it is. And sometimes it's, I'm going to be such a good support for you that even if you can't do it for yourself, you're going to do it because you don't want to let me down.
Yeah.
Right. So we developed that system and we use an online platform plus email, plus video calls, plus video chat, and a bunch of other things to make sure that we can execute against those 5 points within it.
Okay. So, and to be fair, this is not a personal training thing where they come to see you. This is something where anybody, anywhere can work with you guys.
Yes. So currently we have a little over 1,000 clients worldwide.
Okay.
So I have clients in Kuwait. I have clients in India, Canada, South America, literally all over the place. The platform is set up to where and this is just an example, when I program the workout, when you go into it, every single exercise that is in there will have a video explaining how to properly execute it. If you have an issue with doing that workout, you can video yourself doing it, send it to me via the messenger in the app, and I can correct you. If you're local, by some chance, and we have coaches all over the country, so chances are you are local to one of us. Yeah. If you need an extra set of eyes or an extra set of hands, if you're in one of our areas, we'll absolutely invite you out to show you a couple things at our team trainings or something like that. But it is an online platform. It is not a personal training setup. We value ourselves as coaches versus personal training. Personal training is biomechanically showing somebody how to perform an exercise.
Yep.
Coaching is pouring into somebody so that they develop into something better than they are now.
Yeah. So, I mean, ideally, it's this 12-month period to teach them the way and get them the results that they want. But then you said, we don't want you back. For most, they would, especially business owners listening, like, that is crazy. Why is that?
So the business model itself, actually, let's leave the business alone, right? If you treat people right, business comes.
Right.
If you deliver on your promises. Okay. Repeat business from a lack of understanding or a lack of something that you should have delivered is unacceptable. Right. So yeah, in a perfect world, I get everybody for 12 months. And the reason I say 12 months is because almost everybody at first, they want to lose a little bit of body fat. Okay, cool. And then we've got some complex problems to solve. That's normally 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Then they get lean and they're like, hey, now I want to put some muscle on. Guess what? It's 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, okay, I want to see how much muscle I put on. Guess what? It's 3 to 4 months. In those 3 cycles, we've shown you how to create a deficit. We've shown you how to slowly titrate your calories up in the second phase without putting on a bunch of body fat and create a high caloric intake maintenance. And then in the last part of it, we've shown you how to taper it down into a better maintenance spot. So realistically, at the end of it, you have all these workouts that we've written for you.
Yeah.
We send you all of the nutrition that we've ever written for you. At the end of it, you have everything. Now, if you want to hire us just because you like hanging out with us, that's great. Love to have you. But the goal is you will never need to hire us again because you're educated. And not only that, you're educated from a health standpoint too. When we go through and interpret labs, this is what the range is. This is what optimal actually is. This is how you keep it there. We want you to be able to do the things on your own, and we want you to be able to teach your kids. At the end of the day, the leadership team, we want to create more leaders in this field because right now, I think it's like 71% of Americans are overweight or obese. 9 out of the 10 leading causes of death are something health related. It's an epidemic, right? So it's more about helping people than it is about making money.
Yeah.
Money comes from doing the right thing.
Yeah. No, I love that. And for the coaches that you have on your team, and correct me if I'm wrong, but all of them have actually been through the program. So they actually know what it likes to go through, or they know what it's like to go through this entire journey.
Yeah, that has been our way to hire so far. Like we've never hired just outside. Anybody that works at Rise has come through Rise's program, and they've been with us. They've been with us for quite some time. And what typically happens is they'll go through the 3 cycles that I just said. They'll learn how to love themselves. They understand the impact that being healthy and like the impact of having the right nutrition and all the inputs in place had on them. And they just kind of become an evangelist and they're like, hey, I want my entire family to do this. I think all of my friends can benefit from this. I want to go do this thing for other people because I feel so great. And as soon as they get to that point where they're not like, oh, I just want to be a professional coach. No, if they say, I want to go help people the way you helped me, that's how we hire. Yeah.
Okay.
So every single one of them.
It's very cool. It's like the Rise University.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Good stuff. Well, so what about some success stories that may resonate with, a variety of people? You've got to have, hundreds of them.
You'd have to break it down into categories.
Yeah. Well, what about the mom that's out there that's, she's had a couple of kids now, she's in her late 30s. She's not in the shape that she was, and she would just like die to wear a bathing suit and not have to put a t-shirt or something over it. Like I'm sure you've got some of those.
Oh man. Yeah. And I won't name them by name. Cause I try to stay in fairly broad generalities because I don't have their permission.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
But we've had a lot of women that will come in with hormone imbalances, especially after having children.
Yeah.
Or they'll have PCOS, or they'll have some of these other ailments, and they've literally tried everything, right? They've had the personal trainer. They've tried hormone replacement therapy. they've tried the weight loss drugs, and they've tried all of these other things. And I'll bring up one person because I know she won't mind. Her name is Jennifer from Morrow. When she came to me, and Jen's just a tiny little lady, she's in her 50s,
Yeah.
and she had just come out of a very, I would just say, a less than optimal relationship. Zero self-esteem,
Yeah.
very, very overweight, had not taken care of herself at all. And she came to me just broken. Like, that's the best way I can put it to you. She's been with me for almost 2 years now, and she does not need me anymore.
Yeah.
She hangs around because we have a good relationship. But she came to me and she's like, Nick, this is where I'm at. I don't know how to lose weight. I don't have a gym membership. This is what happened in my marriage. This is what happened with my kids, all these things. And it's like, okay, I understand where you're at from a mental side, from a career side, from a physical side. And we just started chipping away. It was a very slow process. Like, okay, let's make sure we start first getting a little bit of activity in. Let's do 6,000 steps. Let's do this little home workout. Then you start to see the inches start coming off. Then she starts getting a little bit more excited. It's like, okay, so now let's do 3 workouts at home. Let's go to 8,000 steps. Let's adjust your nutrition down. And then once we're about 6 months in and she's 20 pounds down and all this other stuff, you can actually see in her pictures as she goes. One week she went from not wearing any makeup. The next week she's wearing makeup for the pictures. It's like, okay. Then the next week her hair's dyed. Then the next week her nails were done. And the next week she's not completely covering her body for the pictures. Then the next week she's starting to flex in the pictures. And before, like, you know, she would kind of hold the camera like this. Now she's got a tripod and things are going. It's like, okay, you literally get to watch the person like come alive.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So she's one of my favorite ones, and I bring her up all the time because it wasn't like a drastic weight loss, like 30 pounds, but 4'9", 4'10", that's a lot.
Yeah.
But the way she changed as a human and the way I was able to be there for her through some of the harder times in her life where she wouldn't speak to anybody about certain situations, she would, send me a message in the messenger and be like, hey, can I email you? Like, yeah, email me, like whatever you got. And long email, tell me about like the worst scenario that's ever happened in her life. And it's like, okay, I'm here for you. Whatever it is. Jen, the relationship that you build with certain people, for my 40th birthday, she wrote me a handwritten letter and mailed it to my house about how much of an impact Rise, and I won't say me, Rise and what Rise does, had on her. Like from a self-confidence, a self-esteem, a physical standpoint, a career standpoint, like just being like finding her community. So she was a really good one. Another one that I can speak on is Justin Coleman. He's now a coach. He just went through the Canvasser to Coach program to become a coach. But when I met him, he's extremely overweight, very, very unhealthy, had a lot of bad habits, very bad marriage. His living situation was not fantastic. His credit was not fantastic. Like he needed some leadership, right? So he comes to Rise. We start putting him through the program. All of a sudden, he loses 20 pounds. Then he gets noticed at the gym by Miss Hallie Thomas, which is one of my clients too. They start dating. They actually just had their 2-year anniversary, I think like 2 days ago.
Okay.
So he lost some weight, started to get some confidence, got himself a girlfriend, switched jobs, he got out of the marriage first. Sorry.
Yeah.
He got out of the marriage first, but then he got a girlfriend, and they've been living together for a little over a year now. They're going to get married. His credit is fixed. He's got himself a new car. He lives in a luxury apartment complex. He makes very, very good money at his job. And now he's a coach, and he's coaching everybody in his family. So different age groups, different genders, same result. It's treat the person. They're both in the best shape of their lives, but their lives actually change, which is the cool part.
Yeah, I think that's great, man. I think especially a lot of highly driven and successful people, you focus so much on the career and what's right in front of you, and you forget about yourself, and you think that you're being selfish by spending some of the time and doing those things. But I know, and I know you know, that the core of our foundational success in life and all these different areas, a lot of it stems from how we take care of ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. And when you start to look good in the mirror and be
Mhm.
proud of the things you've accomplished, and that confidence starts to exude itself. I mean, it's great for marriage. It's great for fatherhood. It's great for so many things. So that's cool that you guys are doing this.
Yeah, man. It's when you look at, and I know you've heard this a lot, or most people that are listening to this have heard this a lot, like a well-built physique speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that nobody can earn for you. Nobody can take from you. And the results are literally one for one with what you put into it. Right. So, and I'll give you an example. You can work really, really hard at your corporate job. You can do all the stuff and things. You can stay late. You can come in early, all these other things. You may not get that promotion, right? For whatever reason. Everything you put into the gym, you will always get back out of it as long as you have the proper systems in place and your body is set up to do the thing that it needs to do. Right? It's not blind work.
Right.
It's setting up the body to succeed and then having a plan, following that plan to get success. 200 pounds always weighs 200 pounds.
Yep.
That dumbbell is not going to change just because you want it to. Right.
Yeah.
So it's having that well-built physique does nothing but help you.
Right. No, and we used to say back in the day when I was in the industry that the body doesn't lie. Mm-hmm. But I do remember working with several individuals where they really did have a great work ethic and they really did eat well. But what they didn't do was do what you guys are doing, which was taking, health down to a cellular level first. Mm-hmm. And understanding, those key markers and what's going on in order to take those efforts that they're putting in the gym and actually make a big impact with them. So I'm sure there's plenty of people that are listening that are like, man, I do the things. Like I'm at the gym 5 to 7 days a week and I eat the foods and I'm just not seeing the weight loss. I mean, it's probably something that's hormonal or something that you just can't see.
The most common things that we see, right? One are hormone imbalances. And that could be the relationship for females, right? We'll start there. Excuse me. The relationship that they have between their testosterone, free testosterone, SHBG, estradiol, and progesterone. If that is off and you are estrogen dominant with the math and the calculations that go into that, mm-hmm. It is very hard to lose body fat. If you are lacking in testosterone, you have a surplus of estrogen. I mean, common knowledge would just say that's rough.
Yeah.
Right. So getting those things in place, that is one of the major things that we see. Same thing with men. Men's testosterone is like at an all-time low. So if you're going to the gym and you're working out as hard as you possibly can, but your DHEA is low, your vitamin D is low, and your testosterone is low, chances are you're not gonna reap the rewards of what you're doing. And another major thing that we see a lot is insulin resistance. Right? So you may be eating all the foods, right? And you may be doing all the right things. I'm gonna eat my chicken, I'm gonna eat my rice, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But if you're insulin resistant, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can't manage your blood glucose. So there's protocols that we put in place to reset that. That way, again, the work that you put in, you deserve to see results from, but it's not just blind work. You have to understand where your body is at because like I said before, like everybody will go to the gym January 1st, but they forget that they've been beating their body up internally for the last 9 months. Right. So if you're running your car on E with no oil all the time, and then you just put a full tank of gas and then you finally put oil in it after you drove it for 9 months without any of that, chances are it's not going to run optimally. Right. There's going to be some things you need to fix. It's the same thing with the human body. You have a certain amount of water that you need, a certain amount of food, a certain amount of macronutrient split that you need at all times to make sure that you run properly. So if you have not been doing that for a very long time, skipping and like, I'm just going to fix it all in one day, chances are your system is not set up to like actually respond to that. So one of the major things we do is we go in and we say, okay, get the system ready, prime it.
Yeah.
Now it's ready. Let's go do the thing. And the thing works.
I love that, man. Yeah. And I like the point there, the body you deserve based off the effort that you put in. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's such a big deal because I think so many people get so frustrated with it. But I think the other thing too, that I noticed when I was in the industry that, I would always laugh. People would get frustrated when they didn't see a result, like within 30 days. And I'd have to remind them like, hey, you didn't get this fat in 30 days. So don't expect to be what you want to be over that period of time. Like it really is a graduation period. But no, man, I've loved all of this. But future plans for you guys, like you've got a great program. There's great technology that backs it. It's down to a cellular level. Like, and when we first were talking about it, I'm like, and I'm super skeptical about programs and all this kind of stuff because there's so many crackerjack boxes out there and just BS. And full transparency, like I've been in the program now for a period of time. I definitely fell off, and Nick gave me a phone call, and we had a little bit of a realignment, and then he came in here, and then we had another one, and now I'm back on. But do you plan on growing this thing to try to help as many people as you guys possibly can?
Yeah. So we've been very blessed since we started in 2015 to be able to grow like organically, right?
Yeah.
And what it has allowed us to do was set up the educational system to where we can create competent coaches. And that was our major focus first. Like, hey, we need a team. Let's focus on the team. Let's focus on fulfillment. Let's focus on education. And we spent, the first 7-8 years doing that. Now that we have the team of 39 coaches, the 4 nurses, the 5 hormone clinics, and all the other stuff and things in line, now our plan, because proof of concept is done, right? We've coached thousands of people. You won't find a bad review, right? And when you coach thousands of people without any marketing, that alone speaks for itself. Like, we survived COVID as an online fitness team or an online coaching conglomerate. So that's how strong and how well the system works if you need proof, right? Yeah. What we plan to do now, with obviously the help of BestLyfe, because we have the partnership.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. No, but the thing about it is, man, we've worked with other marketing companies, right? We've sat down with them. And I told you before, the value system has to align before we invest. So the meetings that you and I had, our values align. Then it's like, hey, Lloyd, our values align. Come sit down. It wasn't a long decision-making process, right? We sat in the room. You told us the stuff and things you wanted to do. Yeah. Lloyd said, yes, that's it. So the partnership itself, you can say it took us 10 years to find the right people, and you guys are the right people. So it's not a shameless plug. Yeah. You guys are good at what you do, and you'll deliver on your promises the same way we do.
Correct.
So the plan for the business now, launch the new website, start trying to create more awareness that we exist, because now I have 39 coaches who are waiting to do nothing but help people, like literally waiting. So I think we have probably 7 or 8 coaches that have done a great job of building their own business, which is great. We've got some IFBB pros and some specialty people, like Blair can, fill her own docket because she's so smart. Kendall Call, she's an IFBB pro bikini competitor. She's got her subset of people. We've got some really great coaches in there. And Danny Tran is another great one. JP is another great one. We've got great ones who've been able to build a business based on their own stuff. But we have all of these other really fantastic certified coaches that don't have as big of like a social network or that skill set, that are waiting to do nothing but help people.
Yeah.
So the goal now is we tripled in size last year organically, which is awesome. This year, we will partner with BestLyfe Group, and we will get awareness out there so that we can reach a larger subset of people and help a larger subset. So the goal is to go from 1,000 clients within the next probably 2 to 3 years to 5,000 clients, and that they're reevaluate just how big we can grow the company. Because if I could, I would help all 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
I just haven't figured out a system to do that yet.
Yeah. That's great, man.
That is the plan.
Yeah, that's super great. So people can find you at...
So right now, you're going to have to answer the ad because I don't know the website.
Well, you'll be able to find them and all these great testimonials and a lot of great information at riseathleticperformance.com. But you guys also have an Instagram, Facebook page, all the things, correct?
Yes, we do. And I apologize for that. We're literally getting ready to launch the website, so I don't want to speak out of turn. But yes, we do have our Instagram at Rise Athletic Performance. You can see a lot of us at the Rise Athletic Club, which is at Rise Athletic Club Instagram as well. You'll be able to just see some of our training videos because we do have a physical location. Okay. And then the partners that we have in the company, you can also visit all of our Instagrams as well. So you've got at JP Performance Rise, you've got at Hereford Rise, at Blair. So anything Rise, realistically, you're going to end up being able to find us, and we're all kind of linked together. But the best spot for you guys to go, instead of going to our personal Instagrams, is to go to the Rise Athletic Performance website, go through, take a look at the testimonials, take a look at what we do, read some of the history about the company, fill out a consultation form, hop on the phone with me and talk a little bit about your goals and see in what capacity we can help you. Because if you have anything that you want to accomplish from a health or aesthetic standpoint, or just to feel better, I guarantee you my coaching group will be able to deliver on that for you. Like literally guaranteed.
Yeah. I love this, man. Well, I love what you guys are doing. Like you said, there's a lot of alignments between us. And I think what you're doing is so different in the health and wellness space that you guys, once we really start getting the word out, are really going to take off because you're really changing lives. And that's what you really should do, in this space. And so many don't. So, man, I appreciate you coming on, again, for another episode of this to tell everybody a little bit more about Rise and what makes you guys so great and how you're making such an impact in thousands of people's lives. And with that, I'll make sure to drop in the show notes all the contact info for these guys. Check out their new website. It is super great. I might be biased, but you'll think so too. But other than that, Dustin and Nick with Life by the Horn signing off. See you guys.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.